Question 1. What were the key outcomes of the Battle of Hastings in 1066? A. The establishment of the Roman Empire in Britain. B. The beginning of the Viking Age in England. C. The consolidation of Norman power in England. D. The expulsion of the Normans from England. Answer: C. The consolidation of Norman power in England. The Battle of Hastings in 1066 resulted in the Norman conquest of England, significantly impacting the country's culture, language, and governance. Question 2. How did the signing of the Magna Carta in 1215 impact the English legal system? A. It established the concept of divine right of kings. B. It introduced the principle that everyone, including the king, is subject to the law. C. It abolished the feudal system in England. D. It created the first parliamentary body in England. Answer: B. It introduced the principle that everyone, including the king, is subject to the law. The Magna Carta was a landmark document establishing the foundation for modern legal principles, including the rule of law. Question 3. Detail the significance of the English Reformation and the creation of the Church of England under Henry VIII. A. It led to England's immediate conversion to Protestantism. B. It resulted in the dissolution of the monasteries and the establishment of the Church of England. C. It unified Catholic and Protestant beliefs. D. It diminished the power of the monarchy. Answer: B. It resulted in the dissolution of the monasteries and the establishment of the Church of England. The English Reformation was a pivotal event that saw the break from the Catholic Church and the creation of the Church of England, with significant religious, political, and social repercussions. Question 4. Describe the role of Queen Elizabeth I in establishing England's naval supremacy. A. She founded the Royal Navy. B. She personally led naval expeditions against Spanish forces. C. Her support for naval expansion and exploration laid the groundwork for England's later dominance of the seas. D. She abolished the navy, focusing instead on land warfare. Answer: C. Their support for naval expansion and exploration laid the groundwork for England's later dominance of the seas. Queen Elizabeth I's reign saw significant naval victories and the beginning of English overseas exploration, contributing to the rise of England as a maritime power. Question 5. What was the primary cause and consequence of the English Civil War? A. The war was primarily about religious freedom, resulting in the establishment of the Church of England. B. It was fought over land rights, leading to widespread reform of property laws. C. The conflict arose from tensions between the monarchy and Parliament, leading to the temporary abolition of the monarchy. D. It was caused by a dispute over the English throne, with no significant changes following the war. Answer: C. The conflict arose from tensions between the monarchy and Parliament, leading to the temporary abolition of the monarchy. The English Civil War highlighted issues of governance and the balance of power, resulting in significant constitutional change. Question 6. How did the Glorious Revolution of 1688 redefine the power of the monarchy in England? A. It eliminated the monarchy, establishing a republic. B. It reaffirmed the divine right of kings. C. It led to the establishment of parliamentary sovereignty and a constitutional monarchy. D. It resulted in the complete separation of church and state. Answer: C. It led to the establishment of parliamentary sovereignty and a constitutional monarchy. The Glorious Revolution significantly limited the powers of the monarchy, ensuring that parliamentary approval was necessary for legislation and taxation, marking the beginning of modern constitutional monarchy in England. Question 7. Explain the impact of the Act of Union 1707 on Scotland and England. A. It created the independent nation of Scotland. B. It merged the Scottish and English parliaments, forming the Kingdom of Great Britain. C. It divided the two countries after centuries of unity. D. It established English as the official language of Scotland. Answer: B. It merged the Scottish and English parliaments, forming the Kingdom of Great Britain. The Act of Union 1707 was a significant political event that unified England and Scotland under a single Parliament of Great Britain, laying the foundations for a united kingdom. Question 8. Detail the causes of the Industrial Revolution and its effect on British society. A. Caused by a decline in agricultural productivity, it led to widespread poverty. B. Initiated by advancements in technology and agriculture, it resulted in urbanization and social change. C. It was sparked by a desire to return to feudal practices, resulting in the re-establishment of the feudal system. D. Caused by foreign invasion, it led to the militarization of British society. Answer: B. Initiated by advancements in technology and agriculture, it resulted in urbanization and social change. The Industrial Revolution began in Britain due to technological innovations and improvements in agricultural productivity, profoundly transforming society through urbanization and the development of new social classes. Question 9. What led to the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland in 1801? A. The defeat of the French at Waterloo. B. The signing of the Act of Union 1800. C. A referendum in Ireland. D. The discovery of gold in Ireland. Answer: B. The signing of the Act of Union 1800. The Act of Union 1800 led to the formal union of Great Britain and Ireland into a single entity, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, effective from January 1, 1801. Question 10. Describe the significance of the Great Reform Act of 1832 in British electoral history. A. It removed all property qualifications for voting. B. It introduced universal suffrage for all citizens. C. It expanded the electorate and reformed the distribution of parliamentary seats. D. It abolished the Parliament and established direct rule by the monarchy. Answer: C. It expanded the electorate and reformed the distribution of parliamentary seats. The Great Reform Act of 1832 was a landmark in British electoral reform, widening the franchise and addressing disparities in parliamentary representation, paving the way for further democratic reforms. Question 11. How did the Victorian era influence Britain's role in the world? A. It isolated Britain from international affairs. B. It marked a period of decline in British power and influence. C. It saw Britain become the world's leading economic and imperial power. D. It led to Britain adopting a policy of strict neutrality. Answer: C. It saw Britain become the world's leading economic and imperial power. The Victorian era, characterized by industrial, cultural, political, scientific, and military change, solidified Britain's status as a global superpower. Question 12. What were the main factors leading to the expansion of the British Empire during the 19th century? A. A focus on domestic policy over colonial expansion. B. Military defeats that forced Britain to seek new territories. C. The search for new markets, raw materials, and the strategic advantage of controlling global trade routes. D. An international agreement to divide territories among European powers. Answer: C. The search for new markets, raw materials, and the strategic advantage of controlling global trade routes. The expansion of the British Empire was driven by economic interests, strategic considerations, and sometimes a sense of national destiny. Question 13. Detail the causes and effects of the Irish famine of 1845 to 1852. A. Caused by overpopulation and resolved through emigration. B. A result of industrial pollution leading to crop failures, it had minimal impact on the population. C. Caused by a potato blight and leading to mass starvation, emigration, and heightened tensions between Ireland and Britain. E. Triggered by trade embargoes, it led to Ireland's independence. Answer. C. Caused by a potato blight and leading to mass starvation, emigration, and heightened tensions between Ireland and Britain. The Great Famine had profound demographic, social, and political impacts, contributing to long-lasting resentment and calls for Irish independence. Question 14. Explain the significance of the Boer War for British imperial policy. A. It demonstrated the invincibility of the British Empire. B. It led to significant military and moral questioning within Britain and marked the beginning of the end for British imperialism. C. It resulted in the immediate dissolution of the British Empire. D. It had no significant impact and is rarely noted in historical accounts. Answer. B. It led to significant military and moral questioning within Britain and marked the beginning of the end for British imperialism. The Boer War exposed the vulnerabilities of British imperial power and stimulated debate about the ethics and costs of empire. Question 15. What impact did World War I have on the British Empire and domestic politics? A. It strengthened the empire and had little impact on domestic politics. B. It led to significant territorial expansion, but weakened the British economy. C. The war strained the empire's resources, led to social and political reforms, and initiated a gradual decline of imperial power. D. It resulted in the immediate collapse of the British Empire. Answer. C. The war strained the empire's resources, led to social and political reforms, and initiated a gradual decline of imperial power. World War I had profound effects on the British Empire, including economic strain, loss of life, and the beginning of a shift towards decolonization. Question 16. How did the suffragette movement change the status of women in the UK? A. It resulted in immediate equality in all aspects of society. B. The movement had little impact until the late 20th century. C. It was instrumental in gaining women the right to vote and raising awareness of women's rights. D. It focused exclusively on economic issues, ignoring voting rights. Answer. C. It was instrumental in gaining women the right to vote and raising awareness of women's rights. The suffragette movement was a crucial factor in the struggle for women's suffrage, leading to the Representation of the People Act 1918, which allowed some women to vote. Question 17. Detail the economic and social impacts of the Great Depression on the UK. A. It led to an economic boom and reduced unemployment. B. The UK was unaffected by the Great Depression. C. It resulted in widespread unemployment, poverty, and political unrest, leading to economic and social reforms. D. It exclusively affected the agricultural sector. Answer. C. It resulted in widespread unemployment, poverty, and political unrest, leading to economic and social reforms. The Great Depression had a severe impact on the UK's economy and society, prompting the government to implement measures to mitigate its effects. Question 18. What were the key outcomes of the Battle of Britain in 1940? A. The establishment of British dominance in Europe. B. A temporary ceasefire between Britain and Germany. C. The successful defence of Britain against German air raids, preventing a German invasion. D. The complete destruction of the Royal Air Force. Answer. C. The successful defence of Britain against German air raids, preventing a German invasion. The Battle of Britain was a crucial victory for the UK, marking the first defeat of Hitler's military forces and preventing a planned invasion. Question 19. Describe the role of the Beveridge Report in shaping post-war British society. A. It led to the reduction of welfare state provisions. B. It outlined the foundation for the modern welfare state, including the establishment of the NHS. C. It advocated for the privatization of social services. D. The report was ignored and had no impact on British policy. Answer. B. It outlined the foundation for the modern welfare state, including the establishment of the NHS. The Beveridge Report was influential in the development of the welfare state in the UK, proposing comprehensive social insurance and public health services. Question 20. How did the end of World War II influence the process of decolonisation? A. It accelerated the decolonisation process as the British Empire sought to focus on domestic reconstruction. B. It led to the expansion of the British Empire, with many new territories acquired. C. The war had no impact on the British Empire's colonial policies. D. It temporarily halted the decolonisation process due to increased military strength. Answer. A. It accelerated the decolonisation process as the British Empire sought to focus on domestic reconstruction. The end of World War II marked the beginning of a rapid decolonisation period driven by economic challenges and changing attitudes towards empire and self-determination. Question 21. Explain the significance of the Suez Crisis of 1956 to Britain's global standing. A. It affirmed Britain's dominance over the Suez Canal. B. It revealed limitations in British military power and marked a shift towards US dominance in global affairs. C. It resulted in an expansion of the British Empire. D. It had no impact on Britain's global standing. Answer. B. It revealed limitations in British military power and marked a shift towards US dominance in global affairs. The Suez Crisis was a significant blow to Britain's position as a world power, demonstrating its reliance on US support and signalling a decline in its imperial influence. Question 22. Detail the causes and consequences of the Winter of Discontent in 1978 to 1979. A. It was a period of economic growth and stability in the UK. B. It involved widespread strikes and public discontent over inflation and government policies, leading to a change in government. C. It marked the beginning of the UK's membership in the European Economic Community. D. It was a public celebration of British culture and history. Answer. B. It involved widespread strikes and public discontent over inflation and government policies, leading to a change in government. The Winter of Discontent significantly impacted the UK's political landscape, contributing to the Conservative victory in 1979. Question 23. What led to the Falklands War, and what was its outcome? A. The UK's attempt to colonise Argentina. B. Argentina's invasion of the Falkland Islands, with the conflict ending in the UK reasserting sovereignty over the islands. C. A dispute over fishing rights, resulting in a draw. D. The UK's invasion of Argentina, leading to significant territorial expansion. Answer. B. Argentina's invasion of the Falkland Islands, with the conflict ending in the UK reasserting sovereignty over the islands. The Falklands War was initiated by Argentina's invasion, and the UK's military response successfully reclaimed the islands. Question 24. Describe the impact of the Thatcher administration on the British economy and social fabric. A. It led to higher unemployment and social unrest, but also economic stabilisation and significant privatisation. B. It eliminated poverty in the UK. C. It resulted in the nationalisation of all major industries. D. The Thatcher administration had no significant impact on the economy or society. Answer: A. It led to higher unemployment and social unrest, but also economic stabilisation and significant privatisation. Margaret Thatcher's policies transformed the British economy through deregulation, privatisation, and a focus on the free market, with lasting and controversial effects on society. Question 25. How did the Good Friday Agreement of 1998 address the conflict in Northern Ireland? A. By initiating a military campaign against insurgent groups. B. Through the establishment of a power-sharing government and the decommissioning of weapons. C. It led to Northern Ireland's independence from the UK. D. The agreement expanded British military presence in Northern Ireland. Answer: B. Through the establishment of a power-sharing government and the decommissioning of weapons. The Good Friday Agreement was a landmark peace deal that significantly reduced violence and laid the groundwork for political cooperation in Northern Ireland. Question 26. What were the main reasons behind the Scottish independence referendum in 2014 and its outcome? A. The desire for economic independence from the UK. Scotland voted for independence. B. Disputes over land rights. The referendum was inconclusive. C. A growing sense of national identity. Scotland voted to remain part of the UK. D. Pressure from the EU. Scotland voted to leave the UK. Answer: C. A growing sense of national identity. Scotland voted to remain part of the UK. The referendum was a pivotal moment in Scottish politics, reflecting desires for greater autonomy while ultimately affirming Scotland's place within the United Kingdom. Question 27. Explain the role and powers of the Mayor of London established by the Greater London Authority Act 1999. A. The Mayor has complete control over the UK's foreign policies. B. The Mayor is responsible for London's transportation, policing, economic development, and environmental policies. C. The position is purely ceremonial, with no actual powers. D. The Mayor oversees education and healthcare throughout the UK. Answer: B. The Mayor is responsible for London's transportation, policing, economic development, and environmental policies. The establishment of the Mayor of London provided the city with a directly elected leader to address specific local governance and policy issues. Question 28. Detail the implications of the Human Rights Act 1998 for UK law. A. It restricted the rights and freedoms of UK citizens. B. It incorporated the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law, enabling citizens to pursue human rights cases in domestic courts. C. It abolished all previous UK laws. D. It made EU laws superior to UK laws. Answer: B. It incorporated the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law, enabling citizens to pursue human rights cases in domestic courts. This act significantly impacted the legal landscape, strengthening the protection of human rights within the UK. Question 29. How has Brexit reshaped the UK's relationship with the European Union? A. It strengthened economic ties between the UK and the EU. B. It resulted in the UK leaving the EU, affecting trade, immigration, and legal frameworks. C. Brexit negotiations were inconclusive and the UK remained in the EU. D. It led to the EU being dissolved. Answer B. It resulted in the UK leaving the EU, affecting trade, immigration and legal frameworks. Brexit marked a significant shift in UK-EU relations, with wide-ranging implications for both parties in various sectors. Question 30. Describe the effects of the 2008 financial crisis on the UK economy. A. It had no impact on the UK economy. B. The crisis led to economic growth and increased employment. C. It resulted in a deep recession, with significant implications for the banking sector, public spending and employment. D. It exclusively affected the housing market. Answer C. It resulted in a deep recession, with significant implications for the banking sector, public spending and employment. The 2008 financial crisis was a pivotal economic event, leading to widespread austerity measures, bailouts of financial institutions, and long-term economic challenges. Question 31. What challenges has the NHS faced since its establishment in 1948? A. The introduction of universal healthcare in other countries rendered it obsolete. B. Challenges include funding, demand, and staffing amidst a growing and aging population. C. It has faced no significant challenges. D. The main challenge has been the overabundance of resources. Answer B. Challenges include funding, demand, and staffing amidst a growing and aging population. Since its inception, the NHS has dealt with various pressures, including rising patient demand, funding constraints, and the need for sufficient staffing, all of which are intensified by an aging population. Question 32. Detail the significance of the Climate Change Act 2008 for UK environmental policy. A. It marked the UK's withdrawal from all international climate agreements. B. The Act made the UK the first country to set legally binding carbon reduction targets. C. It prohibited any government action on climate change. D. It focused solely on promoting fossil fuel usage. Answer B. The Act made the UK the first country to set legally binding carbon reduction targets. The Climate Change Act 2008 was a landmark piece of legislation, establishing a framework for the UK to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions and tackle climate change. Question 33. Explain the evolution of the UK's immigration policy in the 21st century. A. The policy has remained unchanged since the 20th century. B. It has seen a move towards entirely open borders. C. There have been shifts towards stricter immigration controls amidst political and economic debates. D. Immigration has been completely halted. Answer C. There have been shifts towards stricter immigration controls amidst political and economic debates. The UK's immigration policy has evolved with changing political landscapes, reflecting a balance between openness and control, particularly in response to public concern and economic needs. Question 34. How did the Battle of Agincourt in 1415 affect English-French relations? A. It led to a lasting peace between England and France. B. The battle was inconsequential and forgotten. C. It marked a significant English victory in the 100 Years' War, strengthening English claims in France. D. It resulted in England ceding territories to France. Answer C. It marked a significant English victory in the 100 Years' War, strengthening English claims in France. The Battle of Agincourt was a pivotal moment celebrated in English history for the tactical ingenuity showcased and its impact on the prolonged conflict with France. Question 35. What role did Britain play in the establishment of the United Nations? A. Britain opposed the formation of the United Nations. B. Britain was a peripheral participant with little influence on the organization's formation. C. As a founding member, Britain played a central role in establishing the UN and shaping its early principles and structure. P. Britain joined the UN only after it was established by other nations. Answer: C. As a founding member, Britain played a central role in establishing the UN and shaping its early principles and structure. The UK's involvement was pivotal in the creation of the United Nations, contributing significantly to the development of its charter and the international legal framework. Question 36. To describe the historical context and outcomes of the Corn Laws in the 19th century. A. They were enacted to promote free trade by eliminating tariffs. B. The laws restricted the import of corn to protect domestic agriculture, but were repealed to allow free trade. C. They expanded the UK's corn exports significantly. D. The laws had no impact on British society or economy. Answer: B. The laws restricted the import of corn to protect domestic agriculture, but were repealed to allow free trade. The Corn Laws and their eventual repeal was central to debates on free trade versus protectionism in the 19th century, affecting food prices and land use in Britain. Question 37. How did the Enclosure Acts transform rural England? A. They facilitated the development of public parks. B. The Acts consolidated fragmented land, leading to more efficient agriculture, but also displacing many rural inhabitants. C. They divided all farmland equally among the population. D. The Acts banned all forms of agriculture. Answer: B. The Acts consolidated fragmented land, leading to more efficient agriculture, but also displacing many rural inhabitants. The Enclosure Acts significantly changed the landscape of rural England, promoting agricultural efficiency at the cost of social upheaval. Question 38. Detail the contribution of British scientists to the development of the Internet. A. British scientists played no role in the development of the Internet. B. The World Wide Web, a crucial component of the Internet, was invented by British scientist Tim Berners-Lee. C. British contributions were limited to hardware development. D. British scientists solely focused on developing social media platforms. Answer: B. The World Wide Web, a crucial component of the Internet, was invented by British scientist Tim Berners-Lee. This innovation was foundational in shaping the modern Internet, allowing for the easy sharing and accessing of information across the globe. Question 39. Explain the significance of the Battle of Somme in World War I. A. It led to a quick victory for the Allied forces. B. The battle had minimal casualties and was of little strategic importance. C. One of the bloodiest battles in human history, it highlighted the horrors of trench warfare without yielding a decisive victory. D. It resulted in the immediate end of World War I. Answer: C. One of the bloodiest battles in human history, it highlighted the horrors of trench warfare without yielding a decisive victory. The Battle of the Somme was emblematic of the stalemate and massive loss of life characteristic of World War I, underscoring the need for new strategies and approaches to conflict. Question 40. What was the impact of the witch trials in early modern Britain? A. They led to the immediate halt of all superstition-based prosecutions. B. The trials reinforced the authority of the Church and State, but also led to increased skepticism about witchcraft accusations. C. They had no significant impact on British society or law, D. They resulted in the widespread adoption of witchcraft practices. Answer: B. The trials reinforced the authority of the Church and state, but also led to increased skepticism about witchcraft accusations. The witch trials in early modern Britain were a complex phenomenon reflecting societal anxieties, but over time they contributed to evolving legal standards and skepticism towards such persecutions. Question 41. How did the Chartist movement influence British democracy? A. By successfully implementing universal suffrage immediately. B. It had no significant impact on the political system. C. Through its demands for reform, it laid the groundwork for future democratic changes, though not all were achieved in its time. D. It led to the abolition of the monarchy and the establishment of a republic. Answer: C. Through its demands for reform, it laid the groundwork for future democratic changes, though not all were achieved in its time. The Chartist movement was crucial in advocating for electoral reforms and broader democratic rights, influencing the gradual extension of the vote. Question 42. Detail the role of Britain in the development of modern parliamentary democracy. A. Britain played a minimal role, with other countries being more influential. B. It was the birthplace of the concept, with historical developments like the Magna Carta and the establishment of the Parliament of England laying the foundations. C. Britain actively opposed the spread of parliamentary democracy. D. The concept was imported from France and had little to do with British innovation. Answer: B. It was the birthplace of the concept, with historical developments like the Magna Carta and the establishment of the Parliament of England laying the foundations. Britain's historical evolution of governance has had a profound impact on the development of parliamentary democracy worldwide. Question 43. What was the significance of the Windrush generation for British society? A. It marked the start of significant post-war Caribbean immigration, challenging and reshaping notions of British identity and multiculturalism. B. It led to immediate legislative changes to stop immigration from the Caribbean. C. The generation had no impact on British society. D. It resulted in the deportation of many Caribbean immigrants. Answer: A. It marked the start of significant post-war Caribbean immigration, challenging and reshaping notions of British identity and multiculturalism. The arrival of the Windrush generation is a landmark event symbolizing the beginning of modern, diverse Britain. Question 44. Describe the contributions of the British film industry to global cinema. A. The British film industry has primarily focused on producing television shows. B. It has made significant contributions, including pioneering techniques, genres, and creating internationally acclaimed films and talents. C. British cinema has had little influence outside the UK. D. The industry is known only for its historical documentaries. Answer: B. It has made significant contributions, including pioneering techniques, genres, and creating internationally acclaimed films and talents. The British film industry has been influential globally, known for its creative storytelling, iconic characters, and technical innovations. Question 45. How has British literature influenced global culture? A. British literature has remained largely unknown outside the UK. B. It has played a pivotal role, with British authors and works having a profound impact on literature, language, and storytelling worldwide. C. Its influence has been confined to the English-speaking world. D. British literature has only recently begun to gain international recognition. Answer: B. It has played a pivotal role, with British authors and works having a profound impact on literature, language, and storytelling worldwide. The legacy of British literature, from Shakespeare to contemporary authors, has shaped global literary traditions and the English language. Question 46. Detail the evolution of women's rights in the UK throughout the 20th century. A. Women's rights declined, with fewer opportunities and rights by the end of the century. B. The century saw significant advancements, including the right to vote, equal pay, and increased political representation. C. There were no significant changes in women's rights during the 20th century. D. The focus was exclusively on women's economic rights, with no attention to political or social rights. Answer. B. The century saw significant advancements, including the right to vote, equal pay, and increased political representation. The 20th century was marked by critical milestones for women's rights in the UK, reflecting broader social and political shifts towards gender equality. Question 47. What were the key factors behind the UK's involvement in the Gulf Wars? A. A desire to gain control of oil resources. B. Commitments to international alliances and regional stability. C. An attempt to colonize parts of the Middle East. D. Domestic political pressure to demonstrate military strength. Answer. B. Commitments to international alliances and regional stability. The UK's involvement in the Gulf Wars was motivated by alliances, particularly with the United States, and concerns over regional security and stability. Question 48. Explain the legal and social implications of the Same-Sex Marriage Act 2013. A. It restricted marriage to unions between a man and a woman. B. It legalized same-sex marriage, marking a significant advancement in LGBTQ+ rights in the UK. C. The Act had no real legal impact but changed social attitudes. D. It led to widespread protests and the repeal of marriage equality. Answer. B. It legalized same-sex marriage, marking a significant advancement in LGBTQ+ rights in the UK. The Same-Sex Marriage Act 2013 was a landmark in the progression of equal rights, ensuring that same-sex couples could legally marry and have their unions recognized by the state. Question 49. How has the concept of British identity evolved in the last century? A. It has remained static, with no change in the perception of what it means to be British. B. British identity has become increasingly insular and homogeneous. C. It has diversified, reflecting the UK's multicultural society and global influences. D. The concept of British identity has disappeared completely. Answer. C. It has diversified, reflecting the UK's multicultural society and global influences. Over the last century, British identity has evolved to become more inclusive and reflective of a diverse population, influenced by immigration, global culture, and changing societal values. Question 50. Describe the impact of the Public Health Act of 1848 on British society. A. It led to an immediate improvement in health standards and the eradication of all infectious diseases. B. The Act is considered the beginning of modern public health policy in the UK, addressing sanitation and urban health issues. C. It privatised healthcare in the UK. D. The Act had no significant impact and was quickly repealed. Answer. B. The Act is considered the beginning of modern public health policy in the UK, addressing sanitation and urban health issues. The Public Health Act of 1848 was foundational in establishing a structured approach to public health, tackling the challenges posed by urbanisation and industrialisation. Question 51. Detail the reasons and outcomes of the Peasants' Revolt of 1381. A. Caused by a dispute over royal succession, it solidified the monarchy's power. B. Sparked by high taxes and economic hardship, it led to significant but temporary social reforms. C. It was a protest against the lack of military protection, resulting in increased military spending. D. Initiated by foreign invaders, it ended with the expulsion of all foreign influences. Answer: B. Sparked by high taxes and economic hardship, it led to significant but temporary social reforms. The Peasants' Revolt was a pivotal moment in English history, demonstrating the potential power of the lower classes and leading to concessions, although many were later rolled back. Question 52. Explain the role of Britain in the abolition of the slave trade. A. Britain played a minimal role, primarily opposing abolition efforts. B. As a leading advocate, Britain passed the Slave Trade Act in 1807, making a significant contribution to the abolitionist movement. C. Britain expanded the slave trade significantly before abolishing it. D. The abolition of the slave trade in Britain occurred accidentally, with no active legislation. Answer: B. As a leading advocate, Britain passed the Slave Trade Act in 1807, making a significant contribution to the abolitionist movement. Britain's role was crucial in the international effort to end the slave trade, using its naval power to enforce the ban. Question 53. What were the consequences of the Acts of Union 1800 for Ireland? A. Ireland gained independence from Britain. B. The Acts merged the Kingdom of Great Britain and the Kingdom of Ireland into the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, increasing British control over Ireland. C. It led to immediate economic prosperity in Ireland. D. Ireland was granted the same status as England within the Union. Answer: B. The Acts merged the Kingdom of Great Britain and the Kingdom of Ireland into the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, increasing British control over Ireland. This legislative union was significant in Irish history, deepening the integration into the United Kingdom, but also sowing seeds of future conflicts. Question 54. How did the Education Act of 1870 aim to change British society? A. By outlawing education for the working class. B. The Act aimed to provide universal access to education, marking a step towards compulsory education for children. C. It aimed to restrict education to the elite. D. The Act focused solely on higher education, ignoring primary and secondary schooling. Answer: B. The Act aimed to provide universal access to education, marking a step towards compulsory education for children. This legislation was a foundational moment in the development of the modern British education system, emphasizing the importance of accessible education for all children. Question 55. Describe the significance of the Crimean War for the British military. A. It demonstrated the superiority of the British cavalry. B. The war highlighted the need for military and logistical reforms, leading to modernization of the British Army. C. It had little impact, with no significant changes following the war. D. Britain withdrew from international affairs as a result of the war. Answer: B. The war highlighted the need for military and logistical reforms, leading to modernization of the British Army. The Crimean War exposed deficiencies in military administration and care for wounded soldiers, prompting significant changes. Question 56. What were the social and economic impacts of the agricultural revolution? A. It led to a decrease in food production and higher prices. B. The revolution resulted in increased agricultural productivity, population growth, and the beginning of urbanization as people moved to cities for work. C. It caused widespread famine and economic decline. D. Agriculture became less important, with the majority of the population moving overseas. Answer B. The revolution resulted in increased agricultural productivity, population growth, and the beginning of urbanization as people moved to cities for work. The agricultural revolution was a key factor in setting the stage for the Industrial Revolution and significant changes in British society. Question 57. Detail the process and impact of decolonization on the British Empire post-World War II. A. The empire expanded, acquiring new territories. B. Decolonization led to independence for many colonies, marking the end of the British Empire as a global power. C. There was no process of decolonization. The empire maintained its pre-war status. D. Britain recolonized former territories, strengthening its empire. Answer B. Decolonization led to independence for many colonies, marking the end of the British Empire as a global power. The post-World War II era saw a significant shift as former colonies gained independence, reflecting changes in international norms and Britain's own capacity to maintain its empire. Question 58. Explain the significance of the Jacobite rebellions for British history. A. They had no lasting impact and are considered minor footnotes. B. The rebellions led to the establishment of the Jacobite monarchy. C. They were pivotal in defining the power struggle between monarchists and parliamentarians. D. The rebellions underscored the divisions within the kingdom and led to significant military and political efforts to secure the Hanoverian throne. Answer D. The rebellions underscored the divisions within the kingdom and led to significant military and political efforts to secure the Hanoverian throne. The Jacobite rebellions were key events that highlighted the ongoing struggle over Britain's political and religious identity. Question 59. How did the Treaty of Versailles affect Britain after World War I? A. It resulted in significant territorial gains for Britain. B. Britain suffered economically due to the reparations it was forced to pay. C. The treaty established Britain as the dominant global power. D. The treaty had mixed outcomes, securing peace, but also contributing to economic strain and setting the stage for future conflicts. Answer D. The treaty had mixed outcomes, securing peace, but also contributing to economic strain and setting the stage for future conflicts. While the Treaty of Versailles concluded World War I and reaffirmed Britain's status as a leading world power, it also imposed economic burdens and left unresolved tensions that contributed to the onset of World War II. Question 60. What led to the formation of the Labour Party and what were its initial goals? A. The party was formed to represent the interests of the aristocracy. B. Founded to advocate for the rights of workers and social justice, its initial goals included labour rights, public ownership of key industries, and social equality. C. It was established to support free market policies and reduce government intervention. D. The Labour Party was initially focused on environmental conservation. Answer B. Founded to advocate for the rights of workers and social justice, its initial goals included labour rights, public ownership of key industries, and social equality. The Labour Party emerged from the labour movement and socialist groups of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, aiming to represent the working class in Parliament. Question 61. Describe the role of British explorers in the Age of Discovery. A. They were primarily involved in scientific research within Britain. B. British explorers, like Sir Francis Drake and James Cook, played key roles in mapping the globe and establishing contact with previously isolated societies. C. They focused exclusively on exploring the British Isles. D. British explorers were not active during the Age of Discovery. Answer B. British explorers, like Sir Francis Drake and James Cook, played key roles in mapping the globe and establishing contact with previously isolated societies. Their voyages contributed significantly to the expansion of knowledge and the establishment of British influence around the world. Question 62. Detail the impact of the swinging 60s on British culture and society. A. The era marked a period of economic decline and cultural stagnation. B. It was characterized by significant social, cultural, and political change, influencing music, fashion, and attitudes towards sexuality and freedom. C. The swinging 60s had no noticeable impact on British culture or society. D. It led to stricter social norms and regulations. Answer B. It was characterized by significant social, cultural, and political change, influencing music, fashion, and attitudes towards sexuality and freedom. The 1960s were a transformative decade for Britain, reflecting a more liberal, vibrant, and youthful culture. Question 63. Explain how the Battle of Britain influenced the outcome of World War II. A. It resulted in Britain's surrender to Germany. B. The battle had little strategic significance and did not influence the war's outcome. C. By preventing German air superiority, it was a turning point that helped ensure the UK remained a base for Allied operations against the Axis powers. D. It directly led to the invasion of Germany by British forces. Answer C. By preventing German air superiority, it was a turning point that helped ensure the UK remained a base for Allied operations against the Axis powers. The Battle of Britain was crucial in thwarting Hitler's plans for invasion and maintaining Britain as a stronghold for the Allies. Question 64. What were the implications of the establishment of the UK Supreme Court in 2009? A. It led to the UK adopting a codified constitution. B. The Supreme Court replaced the House of Lords as the highest court in the UK, marking a significant change in the country's legal system and enhancing judicial independence. C. It diminished the role of law in the UK. D. The establishment of the Supreme Court had no real implications. It was a purely symbolic change. Answer B. The Supreme Court replaced the House of Lords as the highest court in the UK, marking a significant change in the country's legal system and enhancing judicial independence. This shift underscored the importance of an independent judiciary and clarified the separation of powers within the UK. Question 65. How did the Great Fire of London in 1666 shape the development of the city? A. The fire had minimal impact, with London quickly returning to its pre-fire state. B. It led to the immediate abandonment of London as the capital of England. C. The fire destroyed much of the medieval city, leading to modern urban planning and building regulations in its reconstruction. D. It resulted in the decision to move the capital of England to Manchester. Answer C. The fire destroyed much of the medieval city, leading to modern urban planning and building regulations in its reconstruction. The Great Fire of London was a pivotal event that significantly influenced the city's architectural and urban development, setting the stage for the London we know today.